My name's Nick Hill. I'm a chef and co-owner of Porcine Bistro. Why veal? Why not?
Rolling, set, action.
Porcine's a French bistro, but quite loose in terms. Porcine meaning to eat like a pig. We get a pig here every fortnight or so and butcher it down for all the cuts on the menu. Why veal? Why not? Some people really doing beautiful things with veal. Growing it on pasture, and we get this beautiful rose veal. Quality of the meat's exceptional. It's that step before you get to yearling and before you get to beef where the veal really thrives. The meat's perfect, texture, flavour. It's a bit unsung, I suppose. That's probably another reason, you know. And we promote that a lot with what we cook here in general. So veal seems like the perfect meat for us. When veal's on the menu, it sells hard. I mean, we cook a lot of pork here, and veal outsells the pork. As for cooking veal, I think some of the best things we've learnt from it is leaner garnishes, leaner garnishes. So it can work with a lighter garnish that may go with chicken or something. So we do like lighter braises, vinaigrettes, olive oils. And then for cooking it, we've found that like it's better to be light. A lighter seal helps the meat relax a bit more rather than trying to drive the heat in. And then when we cook it, we can get a flush pink finish the whole way through rather than sort of a seal on the outside. And then, as is with all cuts on the bone, T-bones, we just generally stand them up in the oven so that the heat drives into the bone. So today we're butchering and cooking 4 cuts from a whole rose veal carcass. The first is a tartare, and we're using the knuckle. Okay, so this is the knuckle, and we just sort of clean it up a little bit, and we just seam out like an individual muscle, something that doesn't do a whole lot of work. I mean, this does a bit of work, but as you see, once the meat comes out, it's still very lean and very fine to eat raw. It's really nice to see that, you know, something not really considered for tartare meat is really viable for that dish. And then we just season it classically with shallots, chives, a bit of olive oil, and some pickled capers, and then truffle cream on the bottom, and some soft quail eggs and Melba toast. Second dish we're doing today is a 4/4 shank. So a big piece of meat. In the restaurant we classically serve this for a table of 4 or a big party or 2 really hungry people. We take the shank off, cut the little muscle that connects it all together, seal it gently in a pan, and then braise it in a light stock made from the bones. We spike that with a bit of oxidized yellow wine, some garlic and thyme, and then just cook it at a low temperature, about 85 degrees for 6 hours, till it starts to fall off the bone. And then we just shape it really nicely, warm it back up in that stock, and serve it with some spring vegetables. We're also taking a cut from inside the shoulder, so it's basically the oyster blade. And it's an interesting cut to use for this particular dish because if you use oyster blade from beef, the sinew running through the middle is something that it's really not palatable. You kind of can't even chew through it. So people would always take that off to get your flat iron steaks. With the veal, because the sinew is so, I guess, thin and and I guess easy to tenderize, when we roast it in the oven, it sort of almost melts. And then we serve this as a cold roast. So we cool it down in the oven, in the fridge completely, slice it really thin, and then serve it with some garnishes like a little lunch dish. So it's a warm piece of toast, cooked with smoked bone marrow on the top, the cold roast veal, some horseradish, and a little parsley salad. And it's sort of a build your own kind of little lunch dish, cold roast on toast. So the final dish we're going to do today is really the prime piece of meat from the veal, which is the T-bone. I guess they call it the butcher's cut because you get the best of both worlds. So we've got the fillet on one side and the sirloin on the other. And you'll see when we cook it, we leave a little flappy bit on the top where the fat is, because once we finish roasting, we cut that off, put it onto a little stick, and then grill that over charcoal so you get a little crispy bits on top, so nothing's wasted. We also classically here always serve the bones of meat that we cook on the bone. So we might fry it really quickly and then glaze that and put that on the side so it can be chewed on. And the garnishes with that today, we're going to do some little globe artichokes that are in season. We just braise them gently in some bay leaf vinegar and olive oil. There's a sauce of veal and Madeira, a little bit of Madeira, very classic with veal, bit of sweetness, and then a big fat spoon of béarnaise sauce. So I guess it's about using it up intelligently from a cost standpoint, but also from a standpoint of like, we have to run a menu here. So we have to be clever about how we put it on. So the rest of the carcass will be featured heavily on the menu for the next few weeks until we can sort of shift through it. 4 lucky tables will get 4 lucky shanks because there's only 4 per carcass. As for the rest of the veal, we'll be making a beautiful little salad with the belly. And then for the shoulder, we'll bone out what we can for tartare and for some little roasted pieces. Other than that, we'll be mincing to make a beautiful veal pate. So we make a pate en croûte, and then lots of stock, and then just moving through the carcass as best we can.